Yeah, so this is actually from the Identification Discovery.com, the ID Crimefeed. Yeah, I still thought this was pretty cool, and I was just going to kind of go over it with you guys real quick. Like up here, what's going on, Drunk Turkey Show? What's happening, man? Thanks for popping in, dude. Hope you're having a good Friday night. So yeah, why are so many serial killers born in November? Let's look down through here. This is actually from November 2017. 17 serial killers were born in November compared with an average of 9 for other months, out of a total of more than 100 in study. Those born in November are more likely believe they get a raw deal. 2005 study found that they grow up to be more pessimistic. The Cumbria killer, Derrick Bird, November 29th, 1939. This is birth, November. British taxi driver Derrick Bird, 52, executed 12 people on June 2nd, 2010 during a day-long spree known as the Cumbria Massacre. Bird started by murdering his twin brother, a family associate, and another cabbie he knew. He then moved on to firing his gun at random before finally turning the weapon on himself and committing and finishing himself off there. Ted Bundy, one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, of course, calling him the deliberate strangler.
What do we have here, Ken? Let's see. Oh, it's an indictment, all right. Why don't you read it to me? You're on the hunt for a legend, aren't you?
Mr. Bundy?
You got it, didn't you?
Mr. Bundy?
You told me that you were going to get me. You said he was going to get me, okay? You've got the indictment. It's all you're going to get. Let's read it. Let's go.
Horribly prolific, Ted Bundy stands as one of the most infamous serial killers of all time. Charming, intelligent, and handsome, Bundy blazed a trail of torture and death all over the United States between 1974 and 78 after years of proclaiming his innocence. Bundy finally admitted to more than 30 murders, indicated he'd reveal more if his 1989 date with the Florida electric chair could be delayed. It wasn't. The actual total of Bundy's victims is unknown, and I've seen people guess it's in the hundreds, actually. Kristen Gilbert, the Angel of Death, November 13th, 1969. A classic Angel of Death serial killer, Nurse Kristen Gilbert, eliminated at least 4 patients in her care and was convicted of attempting to murder 2 others. She operated between 1989 and 96 in the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts, inducing cardiac arrest in her victims by flooding their systems with the heart stimulant epinephrine. Other staff members expressed concern about the deaths, leaving Gilbert to having a breakdown and calling in a bomb threat to the hospital. Eventual conviction of the murders. Belle Gunnis, the Black Widow, going back to the 1800s here. Norwegian immigrant Belle Swartzen is one of American history's most remarkable Black Widow serial murderers, not just because of her staggering tally of victims, the best guess is 40, but because she stood over 6 feet tall and weighed 280 pounds and was so physically powerful that some suspected she might be a man. Throughout the first 8 years of the 20th century, Gunnis used poison, fire, and a variety of means to exterminate both her husbands, all of her children, numerous friends, and nosy bodies, and dozens of gentlemen callers. Wow, I've never heard of that one. Is there a picture of that one? Good Lord. All right. Wow. Charles Manson, even though I don't think he's actually a serial killer.
I don't accept the whole situation. You know, like I was in the desert minding my business. This confusion belongs to you. It's your confusion. I don't have any confusion. I don't have any guilt. I know what I've done.
They put him on here, 1934, but November, and prolific, no matter how you look at it. Although Charles Manson was never convicted, here we go, of actually killing anyone by his own hand. He instantly became America's still reigning boogeyman supreme following the Tate LaBianca massacres committed by his followers in August of '69. As head of the homicidal hippie cult, the Manson family, Charlie got convicted of a conspiracy to commit the murder. Dennis Nilsen, the British Jeffrey Dahmer. Whoa, well, that sucks for him, right? He's the British Jeffrey Dahmer. November, again, 23rd, 1945. Dennis Nilsen took at least 12 lives during his 1978 through 83 run. Called the Muswell Hill Murderer, Nilsen lured male victims up to his apartment where he either strangled or drowned them. Okay, yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Afterward, Nilsen practiced a ritual in which he gently bathed the bodies and dressed them up in new clothes. And he kept the corpses around for some time before chopping them up and burning the big pieces in a bonfire while flushing smaller parts down the toilet. Wow. For this, he's also referred to as the British Jeffrey Dahmer. Whoa. Haven't heard of that dude either. David Parker Ray, the toy box killer, November 6, 1939. New Mexico madman David Parker Ray came to be known as the toy box killer due to his soundproofed truck trailer that he converted into a torture chamber and referred to as his toy box. Once in his truck, Ray subjected his female victims to unspeakable agonies. All of this stuff. This dude did some stuff. It's believed he operated for many years, often impersonating an undercover cop, and that he had accomplices, including women he dated. Ray also successfully destroyed evidence of his crimes, resulting in his being convicted for only 3 murders, while he remains the prime suspect in as many as 60. He got 224 years in jail. The toy box killer. Let's put a face to that one real quick, guys. Okay, yeah, here we go. Charles Starkweather, the teenage thrill killer, November 24th, 1938. That sounds like a 50s B movie. 19-year-old spree killer Charles Starkweather between December 1957 and January 1958, after massacring the family of his 14-year-old girlfriend Carl Ann Fugatti. Probably, again, you know me, I'm not the best with these names. Starkweather took her on the road with him and proceeded to rub out 11 victims in total. He died in Nebraska's electric chair on June 25th, 1959. Starkweather's crimes scandalized Eisenhower America and have since inspired movies such as Badlands, The Natural Born Killers, whoa, that's one of my favorite movies, and Bruce Springsteen's 1982 anthem, Nebraska. Moses Sithole, just a single year between 1994 and 1995, Moses Sithole terrorized South Africa with dozen killings known as the ABC murders. They commenced in Atteridgeville, continued in Bonksburg, and finished in a suburb named Cleveland. Witnesses directed authorities to Sithole in August of 95, and he was convicted of murdering 38 people. Numbers are likely higher. Carl Eugene Watts, the Sunday morning slasher. As the Sunday morning slasher, Carl Eugene Watts was convicted for 22 murders and is suspected to have committed more than 100. He kidnapped, brutalized, and murdered women while going completely undetected between 74 and 82. He got busted breaking into a home to attack 2 more women and eventually died of prostate cancer in 2007. Rosemary West, November of 53, British housewife Rosemary West and her husband Fred West tortured and murdered, we've got a couple here, at least 9 young women between 73 and 87. She also killed her 8-year-old stepdaughter, Charmaine, in 1971. Fred committed suicide in 1995. While awaiting trial, Rosemary continues to be locked in prison, where she will remain until she dies. She is only the 2nd woman in England's history after notorious Moors murderer, Myra Hindley, to be given a whole life sentence. And this isn't even the entire list. I think it said up here that there was 17. Yeah, and that was not 17. Kevin B, it makes one wonder how many other sickos are walking around out here. Right now, we don't even know. Yeah, I know. It's definitely happening too, right? Just imagine the ones that don't get caught. Like, I think that's the scariest thought.